Hey, would you believe I'm in a rock teepee? This is how big these rocks are. I'm gonna have a rock sale. If you ever hear about getting a rock and a sock for your Christmas present? I got some big rocks. Anybody got any big socks? Let me show you around. And also, by the way, Rocky, that's Rocky. And this is Rocky's toy, the one he's favorite of the moment. Now, as you notice, I'm getting up. Look at all the other rocks besides Rocky. This is the little teepee I was talking about. I just made that a few minutes ago for the heck of it. I was moving all these rocks around because we were ready to sell some rocks, would you believe? Giant, big, beautiful rocks. And they're actually great for putting down for like a floor in an outdoor area. See how flat that is? How flat that is? So if you put sand, this side of this is going to be flat. This will be the bottom side. This got a little bit of dirt on the top. Actually, that's a really cool gold pigment that develops on the top of the rock because there's crystalline in it. A really nice crystal. And so it's actually made, I believe, through a product of the lightning strikes where they hit, molding together layers of clay into stone. Crystalline stone even. See the crystals in there. So this is just a few of the rocks. Some of them are 7 foot. This one is at least 8 foot across. Let me see. 9 foot across. So I have these rocks for sale. If somebody wanted to do a rock garden, this is some of it, but there's a lot more out front. I have a rock sale. Well, there's a chance we're going to sell the land. If I sell the land, I'm going to have to go ahead and get my rocks off. Ha ha ha. So how do you get your rocks off? Well, one of my toys is that Taguchi 150. He does a real good job. And we put him on a trailer, and you weigh the trailer out at a weigh station nearby, and you buy rocks by the pound. That's not bad. Except some of those rocks are pretty darn big. I'm going to show you a couple more. Because I've been using them kind of as a blockade against the highway. So somebody's like, I'll get off the highway and drive over and then leave back onto the highway. Because I live on the side of a highway. So this is a short video for those who don't know about rocks and the ability to pick these big rocks, buy some of them, and put them in your landscaping as, you might say, car monitors. They'll monitor the cars. See some of these rocks hidden in the bushes. These are just little rocks. These are monster rocks. Now, I'm going to switch this around the other way. So you can see my foot is about 14 inches long. 6 foot. Some of these rocks, you can see the thicknesses of them, but you can actually get them to break sometimes and slice. Look at that one over there. Another one over there. Another one over there. Look at that line of rocks. And what I'm going to do is sell some rocks for people that want it for the great entrances, to make sure that nobody gets through without permission. You don't just ram this with a Ram truck and think you're going to get through. You can see how I built these up. You see that backside. Beautiful. Beautiful. Another one. And there's Rocky with his toy of the moment. Put it down. Put it down. Let me play with you. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Another giant rock. And that one's probably about a 4.5 by 6 foot. You just gotta stand them all up. You can do the same thing, or I could bring them out there and do it for you. But look at these rocks. The veins of red clay and white clay, in periods where they had life in them. And if you look at this really close, look at the pattern. So building a wall out of this, see all the crystals? Nobody gets through your wall. There's some more. Here's one of my favorites. And look at that. That's about 9 foot across, maybe 10 foot across. There's another one, and another one. Look at this, how flat that is. Look at that. I can split it right here and get two, one on that side and one on that side. There's soft clay in the middle. What a darn patio, man. Same there. I had kind of planned to use these for chapel. Build a really cool looking stone chapel with stone floors. And here's some more. And this one, again, amazing is how flat. Look at that. So, see the crystals all sparkling off of there. And that's not all, would you believe? We actually have more rocks. And some of them were hand cut. Limestone. Imagine all day long running a chisel and a hammer to make square blocks. Actually, they're rectangular blocks. And they're used for building walls or also for using as pier and beam supports under houses. Now you can imagine, after hand cutting out all these limestone rocks, going out there and building a house on top of them. All the houses I took down, I kept finding them, so I kept gathering them up. Because to me, there was nothing cooler than handmade anything. It shows human energy. It shows focus. Probably showed they were slaves or something, unfortunately, because that's some hard ass work. So I'm about to show you about 60 of these blocks. Beautiful limestone hand hewn. You ready? Okay. Imagine. Whack, whack, whack. Every time you see a line there, that was hand cut. Look at how many. Now some of these you can tell when they were used in their past life. Like over there was a fire on it, and that's why it got black from the soot. And all these would go together to form an incredible castle wall. Look at that. All hand chipped. Whack, 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 whack. Compared to poured. Now that'd be concrete. See that square? All those marks on the sides. That's how they got these things square. These sometimes weigh a couple 100 pounds a piece. Literally. Just for one. And the beautiful thing about them is, if you stack them up right, you can make some hellacious walls. See, there's another one. And chip, 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 chip. Another one. And so, you know, I think the rocks are cool. I wouldn't have all these rocks. But there's still one more, pièce de résistance. And mind you, in case you want one, I have a bunch of cemetery, or you might say monuments. That means, oh goodness, marble, granite, polished, ready to go. A few pieces of that around here too, I believe. Now, over here, I'm gonna switch this over. Look at this, another little stash. Look like little teardrops, don't they? Here's another one. You can see the line right there. So you split that. Look at how big that is. There's another one. And there's some holy rock. These kind of guard the second section. If we could go ahead and get enough people to buy all this stuff and be able to keep it all. Whoa! Look at, there's one. There's a big one there, about 6 foot by 7 foot. What's so cool about these is they actually, for the moment, lead up to the top of the wall where you can see the edge of Darby's Canyon. And another rock. Whoa, yeah. 30 foot across. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? That leads out to Darby's Canyon. And